Hello there. My name is Todd Sawatzky. I am owner and head appraiser for Todd Sawatzky Appraisals, and where I focus my specialty on sports memorabilia. And this is TSA 101 for On the Bench with Beeks, where I put an educational spin on the appraisal process, all the while showing you some fun and interesting hockey collectibles. I would like to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who watched my TSA video on the hockey cards, coined the hockey card tricks, I believe the boys from On the Bench called it. And the feedback was overwhelming, and I cannot thank you enough. So welcome to my classroom. Today we have a whole new topic. We are moving on from the hockey cards, and we are going to be moving on to what the boys from On the Bench with Beeks like best. Because hey, they even have a jerseys on the bench segment where I myself happen to be the star of one of those videos. Jerseys. Yes, we all love the jerseys. We love to love them. We love to hate them. We even hate to love them, because let's face it, if it's your team, if it's your rival, if it's your favorite country, if it's your favorite player, we get excited about jerseys, because let's face it, this is the visual equivalent of wearing your heart on your sleeve. So let's talk about the different types of jerseys. And there's three, I guess we can maybe blur the lines a little bit, major types of jerseys. We have game worn, we have professional style, and we have semi-pro or semi-professional style. The semi-pro and the pro style jerseys are what you would probably consider 90% of all individuals you see walking around, whether they be at the game, on the streets, etc. They're the ones, especially at all the retail stores. That's the style of jersey you get for those. You got different price points on them. The professional being more expensive than the semi-pro. And I'm going to show you a couple of the differences on that, so that way you can be educated in what you want to buy. Because let's face it, even a cheap jersey, if it is licensed especially, is a fantastic jersey, because you love it, we all love them. So, easiest way I can get into the differences between pro and semi-pro is actually bringing up a pro jersey first. This is a pro style Winnipeg Jets third jersey. This is considered the aviator style of jersey. However, we're not too concerned about the color or even the team in this matter. We're actually looking at a couple of other things. So for me, being an appraiser, this is what I look for to determine the style of jersey. So if you want to come in here, you will see this is an Adidas jersey. However, you will see the size. This says 56. Pro style jerseys use number sizing as opposed to letter sizing, whether it be large, extra large, small, completely irrelevant. These guys, sometimes they're pretty small, 46, 48, up to 56 or higher. So this is a pro style jersey. What you will also notice about this is when I flip the jersey around, I am just going to put my hand right down here for now. So if you see someone walking around and you see this square, darker the jersey, less easy to see, of course. This is kind of a sign that it has this. This is the fight strap. This is the style that the players would wear, because this gets clipped onto their pant belt, which prevent things like being jerseyed. So if those that have the 90s references, when you get jerseyed, let's face it, you can't see crap. You don't know where the fight is. You don't know where the punches are. But you want to prevent that, especially when you're on the ice. And here, I got to just straighten my lovely locks here first. So that is called jerseyed, but you're looking for the fight strap. You will also find that the pads or the shoulders and the elbows tend to be pretty thick. These will weigh more than a semi-pro. So now I'm going to bring a semi-pro out. Granted, it's not Adidas. And yes, for those that know me, this is not a favorite team of mine. In fact, there are 30 teams to cheer for before this one, starting in 21, 22, 31 teams. However, I have one nonetheless. So this is a great example of what a semi-pro style jersey, not because it's the Leafs and you don't want to spend the extra money. It's because of this letter tagging. You will see that this letter tagging is extra large. This is a early 2000 style jersey. CCM were still making them for some teams. So you see the XL. You also find that there is no fight strap. There's no tagging in there. It's also a much lighter jersey, physically lighter jersey. So in comparison, if you have equivalent style jerseys, semi to pro, the pro can be worth up to double depending upon the jersey and the year of the jersey. This is also a semi-pro jersey. This also has a little extra tagging on the bottom here. This is the Reebok just before they switched over to Adidas. The reason why this jersey would actually be worth more is not because of the nicer logo on the front than the last one I showed you, but because of the stitching on the back. This is a customized Mark Scheifele jersey. This is also a Heritage Classic style, so it's got the shoulder patches of the 2016 Heritage Classic, which was played in Winnipeg. Semi-pro, yes, but it has beautiful stitching and beautiful lettering on the back. Interesting fact, and maybe it's hard to tell on the camera, if you look at the lettering, it's looking rather smooth. Very often, if you get the Chinese knockoffs, it will be bubbled lettering. So once again, counterfeit jerseys, like cards, were significantly less. They can still look nice, but they're just not as nice. And once again, this is another semi-pro style jersey. This is from the mid-2000s. You will even see the lovely stitching on the front. I actually am a big fan of this jersey. The Black Sea is pretty nice, but I also love the horse shoulder patches. Once again, this one has been customized. This is a Mika Kiprasov jersey. He was my favorite goalie in that era. Hence, I had the jersey customized. So customized jerseys, even semi-pro, are going to be worth more than your standard jersey. Doesn't matter if it's professional or semi-professional. Now we go into some of the older stuff. This jersey is, in my opinion, awesome. I found it at a Salvation Army. It is a Winwell semi-pro style fan jersey, if you will, of the old Atlanta Flames. Atlanta Flames, of course, became the Calgary Flames. Nice little precursor there. What's also quite interesting is this one even has a custom number on the back as well. I believe the player that would have worn number 9 was Tom Lysek, but I would have to validate that in the future. But because it's older, because it's still in actually remarkably good condition, even for the era, this would still probably hold a similar value to one of the more common semi-pro style jerseys you see today. Now we get to talk about sentimental value. That is why I have this jersey right here. This is an early 1990s Pittsburgh Penguins jersey with the lovely press lettering and numbering for my favorite player, even today, Jaromir Jagr. What you will find, especially in the press lettering, not only does it not look nearly as nice as the stitched lettering, over time it will get dried out and it will crack and flake. When we go back to the front here, you will notice the logo is a mess. You got serious fraying along the edges of the logo. It looks crumpled because of the number of times it hit the washing machine. Fun fact for myself, I do not wash my jerseys. If I need them cleaned, semi-pro or pro style only, I take them to the dry cleaners because I don't want this to happen to my jersey. Everyone has their own techniques, but this is something, the reason why I bring up sentimental value, actually, is kind of my segue to all this, is the fact that when in the appraisal world, sentimental value actually means nothing. It's worth zero. That is why in many cases, especially in more of an estate purposes, especially for estate purposes or something along those lines, a third-party unbiased appraiser is required because they take the sentimental out of the value. Because just because this is priceless to me doesn't mean it's worth anything to anybody else. I think I'd be lucky to get $5 to $10 for this baby right now, but I will never get rid of it because I still love it, even though it would never fit me anymore. We will now get into, that was kind of more of the, if you want to call it NHL branded stuff. We now have some awesome international stuff. Czech Republic. This is roughly 2010 World Championship style. You will see this crazy neckline here, which was very common for not only the Czech Republic jerseys, but also for other teams as well, because that's the way Nike did those ones. This one is another custom Jagr jersey. You will see the blocked stitching, which was very common with the Czech Republics back then. Absolutely beautiful jersey. Worth more because there's numbers on the back. It probably increases the value by a good $50+. But a beautiful jersey. We will go into another semi-pro style. This is Team Canada. Maybe Daniel can confirm, but I'm pretty sure I know I'm right. This is a 2002 style Olympic Team Canada jersey. So this is when Canada brought home the gold after 50 years. But once again, you know it's semi-pro because you got the big lettering in terms of sizes right there. And it will hold less value than that Czech Republic one because there's no numbering or stitching. Fun fact, if you ever want to get your own name put on the back of a jersey and customized, that's fantastic. Please save your receipts if you do, because if you can provide receipts as an appraiser, even an insurance company will pay out the value to replace that jersey. If you ever wanted to sell it in the future, good luck. Hey, I love my name Sawatzky. What can I say? However, not a lot of people are going to be buying Sawatzky jerseys anytime soon, especially if they have not made it pro. And I know based upon my condition, I won't be turning pro anytime soon. Another fun way to increase value of your jersey is getting them signed. We just saw the 2002 era. This is the Vancouver 2010 era Olympics. And this one happens to be signed by not former NHL players, but this is actually signed by women's players. Jennifer Bottrell, Jenna Hefford over there. Jenna Hefford is now a proud member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. So they were prominent team members for the 2010 women's hockey team. Values of the jerseys. Oh, just so you know, if you do get things signed, please avoid the washing machine. That will bleed these. I do find if I ever get anything signed, I stop wearing them. Sure, it's not as fun, but it prevents them from getting damaged. You will also find, especially with the black, the colors will fade, almost turn brown, and they will probably bleed a little bit as well. So that was the big difference between the semi-pro and the pro style jersey. Now we're going to go straight into practice and game worn jerseys. So unlike the semi-pro and pro style jerseys, you want those guys in the best condition possible. For an appraisal process, the better the condition they are, the better chance of a higher value they are worth. However, when it comes to game use jerseys, you want them beaten the crap out of. That actually adds a lot of character. It's easier for people to get photo matches, a very big thing in the hobby itself, and it proves that those jerseys were actually used in game action. This is not a game jersey. However, this is a training camp jersey. This is a WHL training camp jersey that was used by former Calgary Hitmen forward Frederick Sjöström. He was a first-round draft pick of the, at the time, Phoenix Coyotes. He then went on to play in Calgary as well as Toronto and probably a couple other teams as well. But you will see that there are a lot of marks and scuffs here. You can see all the probably tape scuffs from people getting hooked, probably some board bleed, as it's called, from the boards. Also, you see the fighting strap here too. You got the stitched in lettering. You can clearly see that defined. The stitched in lettering, the fight straps, because he wasn't a big fighter, so he probably didn't get jerseyed too often. And you will also see a lot of marks. What I also do recommend, especially for game stuff, you don't necessarily want to wash this. You want to preserve those marks. You want to preserve those scuffs, because that will actually probably help increase the value of it. If you eliminate the DNA, you're just ruining an investment. Another really interesting practice style jersey, this time we're going international, and this is a Switzerland, roughly 2016 era World Junior Championship style of practice jersey. You are not going to see the fight strap on this guy. Hey, they're Europeans, I don't know. North Americans might have more of a say in whether they require the fight strap for practice jerseys. But you will see that this is advertised up and down and then some. I could probably use some very colorful analogies, but I will hold off for the purpose of this video. Even when I look at the back of this, you will see that, well, they're probably trying to prevent people from checking from behind, but it is very colorful. It is very bright. You will see a couple of little scuff marks. So there is a little bit of wear on this, but very light. If this was confirmed a prominent Swiss player, this could be worth much more. But this being a practice style jersey is probably in the $50 to $100 range. Now we got a fun one. This is, of course, the fact that it's team signed definitely helps the value of this guy. This is a pre-tournament used Denmark jersey, also from roughly the 2016 era. I got this jersey because of a signature on it, because he was a part of the team, and I apologize for right here, this guy right there. That is Nikolai Ehlers. Of course, a first rounder for the Winnipeg Jets and one of their budding superstars. What is impressive about this jersey is not only all the signatures on it, you will also see that it is numbered. So there's no name bar. So likely what happened is, instead of repurposing this jersey, giving it to another player to play in the tournament, it could easily have been someone who was maybe on the pre-tournament or in the exhibition games pre-tournament, never made the cut. So therefore the jersey was not repurposed and not used in the tournament itself. But similar to the Swiss jersey, you are going to see a lot of advertising. Not quite to the extent of the other one, of course. And you will also see scuff marks and tape marks. So you can tell it was used. This one is a little bit beaten up, but it is a gorgeous looking jersey and one that I actually truly do cherish. The oldest jersey, game used jersey I own in my collection. Not far off the mark from my Gretzky or my Yager sentimental attachment jersey. This is a AAA midget Eastman Selects jersey. Eastman used to be the AAA midget team. This would be like the farm team for the WHL. So the WHL would draft out of this system. This is the style that they used back in the early 1990s, back when they played in Landmark, where of course I played hockey as well. I never tried out for this team because, let's face it, I knew I wasn't going to make the team, whether I showed up at training camp or not. But it is a number 21. You will also find that this thing probably has been washed a lot, but you can also see the material. In the 1990s, this was a very common style of material. You can almost see my hand through it underneath, even both layers. Now we have my very first game used jersey. This is an AHL Quad City Flames gamer that was worn by former defenseman Adam Pardy. Adam Pardy, sometimes best known for his game against Chicago when a piece of glass popped out during a hit and a fan literally ripped his helmet off of his head and wore it. Yes, fun story. This is a relatively beat up jersey, even though it doesn't have a credible amount of marks. At the top of the shoulders, you will actually see some born burns and holes, scuffs. You will see fraying. But in the front of the jersey is actually what kind of makes it interesting, is you will actually see a lot of fraying and piling, this is called, especially in the collectible world. So it is a little bit beat up. Adam Pardy, I think, wore this around the 2007-2008 season. We also have another example of a KHL jersey. These ones aren't very valuable. Truth be told, KHL jerseys often go for under $100. But it's not too worn. I will move on this one fairly quickly because I want to show you what a fantastic game used jersey looks like. This is a Latvian Gerts and Capans, and I do apologize if I get the name incorrectly. Underneath Latvia there, you might be able to spot the signature that is actually on it. But what makes this one awesome is you got so much crazy marks, scuffs, rips. It looks like some areas where some of the advertisement was pulled off. So it's hard to say what tournament this one was used in. It could have been many. But Gerts and Capans, game used Latvian jersey. And finally, I would like to show you another way to help protect your investment. This here is a Wayne Gretzky signed jersey. This is one that I've owned for roughly 10 plus years now. You can see the signature there. It looks very consistent with his, shall we call it, at the game signature. If it was more concise and consistent, let's say through his company WGA, it would be a much cleaner looking autograph. This one is in a frame. Unfortunately, I don't think the frame was put together well. I got it this way, so I'm not complaining, because you can see that some of the corners are coming undone. You can see that some of the boards that they use to straighten the jersey are kind of falling. So I will get this reframed. That said, a jersey in a frame will cost you more than a jersey outside of a frame. And the biggest reason for that is you will be paying for the frame. It's not uncommon to pay $200-300 for a quality jersey framing. So take that in consideration. Also, you have to take that in consideration for the appraisal process. On that mark, I would like to thank you for going down memory lane and talking about the various types of jerseys, the various styles of jerseys. Yes, you can get jerseys from pretty much any league, anywhere, any place, anytime. They're awesome. We love them. A huge monster thank you to my absolutely amazing videographer, Tiffany, who without her, she would not make me look this good. So if I don't look good, I can blame her, but if I do, you know where it came from. And once again, please reach out to Todd Sawatzky Appraisals. You can find me both. I have my website, toddsawatzkyappraisals.com, Instagram, Todd Sawatzky Appraisals, as well as Facebook. So you can, or email me at toddsawatzkyappraisals@gmail.com. You can find various ways to get a hold of me. So if you are looking and getting something appraised, I am willing to help you out with those services. So thank you again. Please keep watching On the Bench with Beeks, and I'll see you next time.